Creative Living right here on SMP Live Takeover Tuesday. Friends, how are you? I am Jane Klaus. So excited to be here today on Takeover Tuesday. I'm so excited that you are all here with me. I got to say hi to You Know Me. She was watching early this morning, ready for a big show. Elsa, what's happening? Roxanne, I heart you too. Let's see, we've got Sharon and we've got Sandra. Sandra, there's a lot of things that we can do to repurpose old neckties. Let's see, Shirley is in Georgia. And Shirley says, hey, my husband's got a ton of ties ready to be upcycled. And I got to say hi to my sister, Maria, who is watching in Phoenix today. Everyone say hi, Maria. Hugs from New York. Thank you so much. Hugs to you from Chicago, right here from Creative Living. I took notes. Let's see, Nancy's in Nebraska, Dorothy's in Bay City, Michigan, Susie from Florida. You guys are all over the place today. I love that. I'm going to try not to be all over the place today. I'm going to try to be right here and present with you as we talk about recycling neckties into really cool, sustainable accessories and fashion and clothes. And when I say I'm going to try to be not all over the place, it's because neckties are all over the place. They have so many styles and so many patterns. I mean, I have some I'm going to show you here in just a second, but I want to quickly remind you that this Takeover Tuesday, it happens every week. Every week you get a Takeover Tuesday with some fabulous hosts, and you know them and you love them. And I know you guys tune in all of the time. So Takeover Tuesday happening right here on SMP Live every week. You got Carly Bell, the amazing Carly Bell, my girl, Becky Thompson, and of course, Joanne Banco. They are here, one of us every week, to hang with you for an hour and inspire you to create, do tricks and tips and demo on amazing machines with amazing ideas. So we are so thrilled and happy that you join us every single week. So like I said, I'm going to stay present and not be all over the place because we're talking about neckties, a little bit stiff, a little bit stuffy. Some people might say outdated, although I got to tell you, I do love a well-dressed man wearing a nice necktie. I'm not going to lie. I still love it. A lot of people are just going for athleisure wear. They're ripping the ties off, but I still appreciate a necktie if it is still being worn. Sharon said her dogs repurposed the necktie last week. Did you turn it into a leash, Sharon, or did they tear it apart, Sharon? I'm not sure. All right, we're going to get to neckties. I want to introduce myself really quick. I'm Jane Klaus. I have been a creative maker my entire life. From the get-go, I've been waking up early and wanting to make something. I love a fabric store. It's one of my favorite places to be. I'm hoping you heard that because that was a light diffuser that just fell off my light. Andrew, who is producing the show behind the scenes, and I just spent a couple of minutes wanting me to put that diffuser up, but guess what? It fell off, Andrew. That's so much fun. Okay, so I am a creative maker forever and ever. That's why I love being here with you. But I'm also a television and radio host as my career. I spent my life on the small screen as well as on the radio airwaves. And now I have a podcast, and it is called Creative Living, exactly what I call my show. And you can find that podcast wherever you get your podcast. So be sure to like, subscribe, download is what I need you to do. And we're going to roll that on the screen. If Andrew is watching, we'd love to see that. So it's called Creative Living, the podcast. You can go to Apple Podcasts. You can download it. I talk about all things creative and all things. So this last one that was released yesterday is about home and housewares. It is about being the ultimate domestic diva, which I know you all are. My friend, Peter Giannetti, is the editor of Homepage News. He also said he's a domestic diva. So he knows all the trends that are happening in your home, all the trends that are happening for your home in 2025, all the appliances, why it's time to maybe return those old appliances and get new ones, retire your appliances. We're talking about bar stations and tea stations. So it's creativity in your home. And I know you're all domestic divas. And then what else? Oh, right before his was Lauren Spangler. She was I released her podcast a couple of weeks ago. She's a creative coach. Lauren Spangler You can listen. She helps you get unstuck creatively, or helps you figure out how to be creative, but also live a life. So you're not always just being creative. You can also work and not feel like you haven't had the time to do what you want to do. I talked to her and she was like, you might need to pull back on your creativity and you might need to start working more. But why would I do that? Being creative is so much more fun. Okay, so be sure to like, subscribe to the podcast. I really appreciate that. And also just head over to my website, Jane Claus, CLAUSS.com, and sign up for my newsletter. I don't overflow your inbox. I send one out every couple of weeks with just some really fun and interesting projects, some cool blogs, some interesting reads. So sign up for that, janeclaus.com, double S on that Claus, just like Chris Morris, double S in Chris and double R in Chris Morris. She is hanging out watching with us today as well. Hey, Betty from Mississippi, and Betsy and Yvonne. I'm so happy that you guys are here. All right. What do you think about neckties? Right. So when you think about neckties, you probably think corporate office. You think wedding or a fancy dinner party, or maybe it's like that one uncle who still wears his necktie to every family event, which I love. If you want to wear a necktie, I think it's amazing. But a lot of us just have neckties sitting around in the closet. Raise your hand if you're a home with neckties that's sitting around the closet, especially the ones with gravy stains on them. I mean, I have so many neckties in my house that I was like, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with all of these neckties. This one right here, oh, here it is. I made the cutest halter top out of one of these neckties, and then a solid necktie, just like the halter top I'm wearing. It's a tie halter top with a zip front. I use this in the front to do that. So again, neckties are great to repurpose. They're made mostly from polyester, some from silk, but you want to repurpose them because guess what? They're just hanging out in your closet collecting dust. Okay, I want to show you about some of these really fun things. Look at how great that is. That's a fun color. I love all of these prints. Look at this one. So you can find these in thrift stores. You can find these probably at your friend's house. You can find me, yeah, a box full. I agree with you, Betsy. So I'm going to show you some ideas. We'll go through one. Look, if you're a Disney fan, look at that one. So there was a time in my life when my friends would just bring me neckties. I would get bags of neckties when I went out to parties because everybody knew that I made things out of neckties. I really love this one too. So start thinking about your favorite pattern or color of necktie, because you know how I always have a question of the day. I'm going to show, I got more. Don't worry. Here you go. They're super great for repurposing. They come in solid colors. Look at how you can mix and match all of these colors, all of these styles. Look at that one. I love it. Look at this one. Wait, there's just straight up yellow right here, which I'm not sure you guys know, that is really my favorite color. So because I have so many neckties, I group them all together, color coordinated, or at least I tried to. Let me show you some more. Oh yes, look at these. Look at this blue inspired. I love this one. Fendi ties in hand. Oh boy, I love the Fendi ties. We're going to talk about what to do with them. Look at this. Look at the Greek, the little F zones. Those are the soldiers. This is probably my Greek pile that I pulled together to make something out of. So I used to make a ton of skirts. I used to make halter tops like I'm wearing. I used to do a ton of home decor like pillows and ottomans. I'll show you some pictures of those in a little bit. And then I just discovered how to use them to create handbags, because why wouldn't I? Look at these. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I hope you're getting inspired just by looking at all these patterns. Who loves to go to the fabric store and look for fabulous patterns? Well, I'm going to tell you what, when you deconstruct these babies, they have great patterns, great materials, so much fun to reuse and repurpose. Yeah, I love that. So boy, oh boy, we got a big show. You're going to tell me and start thinking about your favorite pattern, color, and style of necktie. We've got solids, stripes, paisley, geometric, floral is my favorite, novelty, knit or textured ties, which were super popular in the 80s. or at least for me in the 80s, because that's like the earliest I really remember neckties is the 80s. So here brings me to my question of the day. And this is where I want to hear from you. And I am sure that Andrew will start putting comments on the screen. If you had to describe your personality using a necktie pattern, what would it be? Would it be bold and a solid color? Would it be all florals? Would it be something totally wild like neon stripes? Would it be patriotic? What would it be? Bridget, wash them at the dry cleaner or spot wash them. Just like you would wash the tie that got stuck in the gravy. You could spot wash that. That's how you'd wash them. Maybe you could do it in something like something lighter, like a hand wash, but I would dry clean or spot wash. Thank you for asking that question. Typically the ones with the gravy stains on them, we're going to cut that part off unless you love the gravy stain, and it goes great on your table runner. So in case somebody spills gravy on your tie table runner, it doesn't matter, right? Okay. Okay. So we're going to give ties a new purpose today. Instead of them collecting dust in your closet, we're going to weave them together. We're going to stitch them, and we're going to make a bag that is super stylish. Totally one of a kind. These amazing forgotten fabrics. We're going to turn them into something completely new, something that you can rock every single day. Get stopped in the street. People say, wow, where did you get that? And you're going to say, I made this. So grab your old ties, and we are going to make some magic. And I'm going to look here. Sandra's patriotic, happy and eccentric from Cindy, very bold from Bernadette, Paisley, a lot of patriotic, preppy plaid. I love that. That's good, Amy. Let's see who else. Joanne says she sees a run on thrift store tie sections after the show. Yes, that's right. Yes, we do, Joanne. That's amazing. Okay. All right, let's make some magic. I'm going to, because we got a long project ahead of us, because I'm going to show you samples at the end of this, but let's just hopefully we can get this project together. Come with me if you're ready, and let's go to our deconstruction table. Let's see. Oh boy, look at all those ties, friends. Okay, here we go. So, oh my goodness gracious. These are the ties that were in the promo photo. If you can see, this tie was loved very much. It's got rips and it's totally worn and woven. Alfred Dunhill. This is a really old tie, but we need to deconstruct our ties so that we can make a tie bag. So I'm going to start with, I picked these out. I deconstructed a couple of them ahead of time. So we need 6 neckties. All right. And one of my funnest favorite things to do is to put and mix and match the colors together and the styles. I love a big, thick, wide necktie for this project, but you can see how I have all of these. They kind of coordinate. They all have this little red theme together. So, oh yeah, you can see my little head there. Okay, good. Let's deconstruct. I'm trying to read your comments. It's a little bit far from me. So, Andrew, if you could put some comments on the screen or any questions, then I could maybe see them a little bit better. That'd be awesome. Thank you, Betsy. Okay, so let's deconstruct the ties. And this is how we do it. Oh, look at this, a nice Bill Blass tie. So let's cut off the name, and they're usually just stitched on in 4 corners. Let me know that. I know. I think probably some of you are thinking, well, goodness gracious, they spent so much time making these. Now you're going to deconstruct them. But that's what I do. One of my favorite things is to collect these little tie badges. Like there's a Yves Saint Laurent. This one's 100% silk. This one's Givenchy, Bill Blass, another Givenchy. I can't say it. Can you guys say it? Who is this one? Mallory Church. I love to keep these, a collection of these. If anybody can tell me what I should do with these labels, that would be super fun. Okay, so once we've taken off the label, there's usually just one little clip right here to remove, one little stitch. And then I am going to use, this is a stitch remover from Kai Scissors. Have you seen this before? It's just got little teeth right here at the very top of this blade, and it makes things so easy to take apart. A lot of times, if you're just doing it, with your stitch remover like this one, it can be a little bit more difficult. Oh, right. I just picked a tie that is really difficult to get apart. It's okay. We're going to do it. So Bill Blass, that's who the designer is. Here we go. Once you get a couple started, it's really easy to make it happen. So you're going to get a couple started here. And then I'm going in with this is from Kai Scissors. This is that stitch remover. And I'm just going to go through and see how you just kind of just grate these teeth against the stitches and it just comes apart so easily. Now, for our project, and I said we needed 6 ties. I need 4 of those ties to be totally deconstructed. I need 2 of those ties for you to leave the handles on. The other thing about when you're working with ties is to save your scraps. Oh, Bill Blass, he's really giving me a run for his money. Bill Blass knew someday Jane Klaus would get a hold of his tie and try to wreck it. Try to take it apart. And he really doesn't want me to take it apart. I'm going to get it though. With your help, with your cheering on, we are going to get it. And listen, I don't even care if I put a hole in it because this part's going to probably be gone anyway. Oh, Bill Blass. There you go. So now you're going to take out the stuffing of your tie. This is one I'm going to leave sort of all the way open. It's kind of, you have to take one day and sit and take your ties apart. I would say some of them are really easy and some of them are naughty, like this one. There you go. It's all taken apart. Yeah, we've got all this bulk here. Don't care about it. I've got the rest of my tie here. This is going to be the base of my bag. So I only want it to go up a certain amount so that I can use the existing tie for the shoulder strap. So I am deconstructing our shoulder straps right now. And then once we get to a certain point, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut it and then toss that out. Okay. Fingers crossed, friends, that tie deconstruction number 2 will be a lot easier. Here's number 2. Who do we have? Sir James. Anybody know Sir James? Okay. Let's take Sir James. Sir James has got a pretty tight hold on his label. He didn't want anyone to take it apart. There we go. Imagine the colors that you can mix and match and the patterns. I think it's one of my most exciting things is when I sit and put ties together. I have so many ties. I probably have 1,000 ties. I could potentially have more than 1,000. Okay, let's go, Sir James. What do you got for me? Oh, yeah. Sir James, look at how great this is. If you don't have one of these, you need to get it. I'm sure Blaine has it on the website. It's from Kai Scissors. It is called a stitch remover. If you have a pocket that you want to take off a shirt, you would just slide this like down the pocket so you're not cutting the fabric. Because a lot of times fancy shirts have fancy fabric and you want to cut it just like our neckties. And the thing about deconstructing these, we want to save as much of the tie as possible so we have so much fabric to use. When you are using only pieces and parts of the fabric, you want to save the scraps of the tie because you can make scrunchies. You can use it for other upcycling projects like glass cases, maybe. Glass case? Yeah. Look at this. Oh, I love this one. Whoever had this spilt on it a lot. Okay. So before we cut these apart, we are going to, we're going to iron them. Here we go. So we have a nice flat base to work with. This will be the bottom of the side of the bag. I don't know if you guys, you probably didn't see what we're going for, but I should have showed you that ahead of time. Maybe I'll grab it. Let's see. While we're doing some ironing, I can look at your comments. Okay. Yeah, the stitch remover, Charlene, is awesome. Hey, Julianne from Montana, what's happening? We love it that Joanne Banco is here with us. If you have any questions, please direct them to Joanne. Yeah, that ripper is easy to use, Lisa. You know, it just makes things faster because you know how it goes when you're just trying to grab onto one stitch. Even if you just accidentally put stitches together that you didn't mean to, it's really, really great. Let me get that other one that we did. Here it is. Yeah, and you can see, you know, where I was struggling to get that, there's a little hole. Well, you can't see. There's a little hole here, but I probably won't use that part anyway, so I'm not worried about it. There we go. Thanks, Bernadette. So as I am ironing all these, this is my one chance to see what y'all are talking about. I've ever starched ties. No, Dorothy, have you starched ties? And what happens when you starch them? Yeah, I guess they'd be stiff and cool and you can use them for other things. You know what I have done with neckties and patterns? I've dyed Easter eggs with neckties. You cut this portion of it and you put your egg inside here, hard-boiled egg, of course, wrap it up like this, and then you put it in, I think, boiling water, or maybe that's how you hard boil them. I'd have to look again. I did it once, but they come out with the actual pattern of the necktie, and that is really, really cool. Yeah, that's cool. Great idea. So many things that you guys can do with these ties. Okay, so this is good enough for me for now. What do you guys think? Yes. I love that you can see everything that's happening on my table. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, these are the two I'm going to use on the outside. So let's just set them aside. We are going to use a lining, Diana. In fact, the lining has got to be a little bit thicker than your tie. So I'm mad about that. I'm going to quickly iron that. The lining is going to be thicker than your tie, but the same pattern. This is, I have black lining. This is like a denim because those ties, once you take them apart, are really thin. And if you're going to create a bag with these, you're going to want it to be a sturdier lining material. That's kind of what I found. So I have a black one pre-made. I've got a red one. You can do any color you want. I will tell you this. Let me put you here. This that I'm wearing, this is a necktie halter vest. I used to wear it without a shirt underneath when I would go out. Super fun. These are whole ties. So I have not deconstructed these at all. I just sewed them together, added this in the front, and did a clip in the back. And so these are already lined by themselves. The other thing that's cool about making a halter top is when the ties heat up from your body heat, they kind of mold to your body. So here's another one she's wearing. These are blue ties, harder to see in this light, but you can see how I just do 2 straps across the back. You could do a full back. I have ones like that as well. But again, these are not deconstructed. These are just ties sewn together. And they do, once your body heats up, they mold to the body, which is super fun. So many ways to use them. You can use them whole. You can use them deconstructed. Lately, I've been into deconstructing them because I'm not really wearing my halter tops anymore since I just started staying home. Because, you know, at a certain age, you got to stay home. That was funny, guys. Okay. All right. This is how we do this. We are going to pick the styles that we want together. So, oh, I love these 2 for a panel and then these 2 for a panel. Would you like to see what we're going for, or we're just going for it? We're going for it. Okay. So I'm putting my ties together on top, right sides to right sides. And from wherever the point is, you're going to try to match things up as close as possible. But you see my point right there, here. I'm just going to quickly cut that. I am using my Sew Tight cutting system. And as a matter of fact, these come with magnets and it just sticks on there. Isn't that great? So my magnets allow this to stick so I can then do my cutting. So what I'm going to do is pin this together, and then I'm going to hit my sewing machine and sew this down. Now, the thing is this, you can use clips, you can use your quilt pins. I love those quilt pins. They're so long. They're perfect. You can just eyeball it and just run over to the machine and zip it up. I'm going to use a sewing machine today. You can use a serger as well to just do these quick sides. And then if you wanted to stitch them again, you can do that. So I'm going to put this aside and we are going to take our next two. Now here's the fun part. You see that this has got all of this extra in here. Okay. We don't care about that extra. Look at how great that is. Because once we cut it, and I'll put this, my Sew Tight system. Blaine has these. This Sew Tight cutting system, you guys, if you're a quilter, this holds down all your pieces. If you are needing to turn anything, this holds everything down. I love it so much. They have other magnets to use. This ruler comes with it. It also magnetizes to this cutting board, and the cutting board is double-sided. But these are fantastic, and I'm bringing it up because I know Blaine has it. The tops, this one that is not deconstructed in the front, I'm going to keep it because I am going to do a project for a group called the National Arts Materials Trade Association. We all have to make a fish to hang at their convention coming up in April, and I am going to use these as I'm going to use my extra neckties as the gills. Isn't that cute? I know. Okay. So we've got that piece and that piece. Now, this tie is a lot thicker than this tie, which is why we need to have a lining on it. I'm going to quickly get rid of this excess on the inside. And Andrew, if you see any questions that come up, if you could pop them up on the screen as I am working, I can look up and see if anybody is asking questions or making comments, or you're just enjoying yourself. That's what I am doing, enjoying myself. Finally, a 50-degree day here in Chicago. Although I will say I was just in Phoenix over the weekend and it was gorgeous, 78 and sunny. Yes, I said, why don't I live there? Okay, so let's head over to the sewing machine and sew these up. Now, again, I'm not going to sew all the way up because I'm not going to use all the way up. As a matter of fact, to save myself some time and some headache at the sewing machine, I'm going to cut this just because I don't need these pieces. But save your scraps, people. What did I say? Save your scraps. There you are. Because you can use them for something else. And I'm going to show you what you can use them for in a second. So we're going to go to the sewing machine. Okay, here we are. And I'm just using the Brother. There we go. Let's just get that in there. I'm using the Brother NS80E, and I'm just using a regular old stitch. I'll try not to zoom, so I'm missing the camera. But you're going to stitch right side to right side. This is one side of your purse, one side of your bag, your shoulder bag. You don't have to make your bag as big as I'm making this. You can certainly do like just an over-the-shoulder bag and not make it as complicated. But, you know, my theory is more and less is a bore. So why would I want to make it not complicated? And then we'll just take this one off. And yes, you can cut your seams there, but I'm just going to do it with my little scissors. Hope you all can see. Isn't this fun? We're just in the craft room, just hanging out. I love it. So I'm making this a little bit longer than needed. That's okay, because we're probably going to cut it anyway. We don't need it to be this big. Here we go. I would love for y'all to come over. We can just do this in person, right? I think a serger would be great on this, just to keep it nice and tidy. This is going to be on the inside of the bag, so no one's going to see it. But I love this little machine, by the way. Just listen to it. So great. So easy to use. So many stitch options, and you can take it with you. What do you think about that? Okay, let's go back to my overhead. So now I've got my pieces put together. So that's the inside, one side of the bag. Yes. And then this is the other side of our bag. So there you go. And then we're going to use these pieces to go around the bottom. So let's set these pieces up. We'll cut these and sew it all together. Then I'll show you how the lining works. You can also add a zipper. You can use a snap, which is what I have done. Let's do this. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom of the bag. So good luck to me to figure this out. But again, we're going to cut it right here to point. Save the scraps because you can use them for something else, like an art project at school. There we go. Look at how good this is. I'm creating all of my leftovers. And then I'm just going to get rid of this. I suppose you can just leave. You could leave this for a little extra weight. This is pretty thin. There we go. So this is going to be the bottom. And again, we're using the entire piece. And I have this side. Yeah, Nancy, come on over. I don't know. I get a little unfocused, though, when people are here and I'm making things. It's actually hard to make things. Like, I love these little extra pieces. It's hard to make things and talk, by the way. Who can make and talk? It's really difficult. Well, I know lots of people that can do it, but my little brain is going 100 miles an hour. Okay, so we are going to then take the two bottom pieces, right sides to right sides. And this, to me, where I had the little snafu of with the what do you call it? The name tag, which I don't like. I'm gonna get rid of it. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it off. Sew over it so that my bottom, whoops. So the thing about neckties, none of them are the same size unless you buy all of them the same. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of eyeballing, a little bit of making sure your lengths are the same-ish. I have one, there we go. I like this a lot. That's a good length. The length of the tie is about the same. So, and I realize I'm doing this a little crooked and I'm not using my lines, but that's because I'm eyeballing all of this together. There we go. I'm also using a Kai rotary cutter on my Sew Tight system, which I love. And then we are going to put this piece together and sew it. I can't tell you how much I love all of the gravy stains on this tie. So good. I think I want this to be open. What do you think? The last time, remember we were together last time we made the ransom shirts? I watched the show back. It was really funny because I kept asking you guys questions and obviously I can't hear you talking to me, but you were telling me that you liked one thing in one place. Let's go sew this bottom piece together and then we will put the rest together. We'll put the purse together. I hope you guys are getting inspired. I am. There we go. A little bit of extra. Okay. Yeah, I was quiet for a minute. I know. I was thinking. Okay. Look, there we go. That's the base. Let me cut off some strings. Oh, you're not there. Sorry. Let me cut off some of these loose strings and give this a press, and then we will put this thing together. Let's see. What else can I tell you? I want to go back over here to our ironing station, and I want to just kind of flatten this out a little bit. There we go. So can I tell you a little history about neckties? You guys want to hear that? Neckties date back. This is all the things I know about neckties. They date back to the 1600s. Croatian mercenaries wore them as part of their uniforms. That's how they started. It was in Croatia. And so I guess like anything you ever do with a necktie, it's got a little bit military backing to it because it started as part of a uniform. And we're deconstructing neckties that were once loved. They were at the thrift store. They didn't want to be used anymore. The world's most expensive necktie. Are you ready for this? How much do you think it's worth? Just like throw out some numbers. Throw out some numbers. Bernadette, I am using the Brother NS80E, and we will show you all the machines and tools I used at the end of the show, but it's the Brother NSADE. I love it. It's a cute little portable machine. Blaine has it there if you want one. What setting? I have the iron on the hottest it'll go. You know what? Who is that? Linda? Linda, I'm probably super guilty of this, but I just put my iron on hot and I go for it. And if it starts burning something, I pick it up. But yeah, look, here, I'll show you. This is my Oliso. There you go. That's my project iron, but it's on the hottest setting. It'll go. If these are polyester, it can take it. If it's silk, you're going to quickly learn that you're not going to want to put it on the hottest. But I will say this. I would try not to use a silk tie when you're making these because it's just not, it's going to be, I don't know, not strong enough, I guess. Anyway, it's going to be too, not structured. Like this tie is really loose. And by the way, as I'm cutting this, I go, oh, I don't think that's enough space, but I will soon find out. Since this is the bottom, we want these to be a little bit equal. So I am going to get back to my, I'm going to show you this close up. Look. And we can always we're going to sew this back together in a little bit as well. Nothing I do is perfect, friends. Okay, so this is the base. And now let's head back over and put this together. And then this is the side, the front and back panels. So we're starting with one panel and we want this to be, let's see, what, like 16, maybe 14 inches big. I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't really use patterns because I just don't. But I made this cute little pattern here that I thought, well, this would be the size of the bag I'd like. So you're going to want to give it a round edge. And then let's see how long was my, or how long is this pattern? Let's see. Yeah, so it's 13. I said 14. So that's cool. Let's do 14. I'm going to cut this here. Yep, save your scraps. Do it again. And then I'm just going to put one pin here while I cut the circle. There we go. Oh, wait, did I ever tell you how much the most expensive necktie is? I didn't see your numbers go by. Okay, the most expensive necktie, $220,000, made from pure silk, and it's encrusted with diamonds and gold. Yeah. Would we be upcycling that one? I don't think so. Okay, let's put this. Let's see, this goes here and here. And I'm just using my other base, my other tie as my pattern. I know I like to just make it up in my head, and that's how I create my patterns. So it at least gets a little bit close. I apologize to all of the expert sewists out there who always use a pattern. Okay, so here we go. Giving this a little bit of a rounded edge and maybe making it so they're about the same. So now I've got my front and my back, and I've got my side. Oh my goodness. You can see this, can't you? I know you can already see it. And the ties are a little stretchy, which I love. Let me press these a little bit flatter. Are we going to finish this project today, guys? I don't know. Let me go to the iron station. There we go. Just want to make this as flat as I can before I sew it all together. And then you put your lining in. And the lining is going to be that exact same pattern that I cut for. So you could trace what you did with your neckties. You can trace what you did with the shoulder straps to create a simple and easy pattern. And again, it doesn't have, nothing's going to be the same size. All your ties are different, but if you can get it pretty close. I know some of you are expert pattern makers out there. But don't these look great together? The diamonds and the little olive shapes. Let's go back here. Okay, now, because we have our base, which we cut, we're going to go right sides to right sides, matching the seams in the middle just like this. And I'm going to pin, and we're going to attach these together, and we're going to sew them on. And yep, it's curved and it's fun, and you get to just drive it around the corner. But when it's done, you're going to see how cool the bag looks. I'll be mindful of my time. So maybe we'll do another 10 minutes. I have one of these finished in case we run out of time, because I know you guys are sneaking and watching when you have other things to do. I was going to say when you're at work. I met somebody at Road to California. She's like, oh, I just watch you guys when I'm at work. And she was whispering it. I'm like, you're not at work now. And she said, I know, but I always whisper. So as I'm pinning these, I'll give you some stats because I think stats are key. Stats about neckties and how many of them actually do end up in a landfill or in a closet or in the back of your closet or a garage sale, thrift store. By the way, when we're pinning, we're going to leave about a 1/2 inch at the top. So don't sew all the way to the top. So you can just turn that in. And then I'm going to do the other side and we'll sew it on. Woo. Okay. So by the way, I was curious. So I did some research before the show, and I wanted to know exactly how many ties are thrown away every year. So my research came back to, hey, we don't really have an exact number of ties, but we do know that 1 billion neckties are produced each year worldwide. 1 billion produced each year worldwide. So that's a ton of fabric that ends up in thrift stores, landfills, stuffed in the back of your closets, what have you. The other thing I learned is that the average person throws away 81 pounds of clothing annually. So 81 pounds of clothing, we throw that away. I probably buy 81 pounds of clothing to upcycle. Shh, don't tell anybody that's watching, especially my husband. So when we say throw it away, that could be one-time used, fast fashion. They can end up at a thrift store. They could also end up in a landfill. Again, I'm not going to sew this to the end. I'm going to leave about a 1/2 inch right there because you have to do. So there's one side. So let's sew this together and then we'll come back. There's my pattern. You guys don't want to see that. And there we go. So, you know, we certainly can't, we talk about sustainability, and I make a joke that I pick up all the clothes that you guys are throwing away or the people are throwing away. I can't do it all, but I can do a little bit. And I think that using neckties, because of the material and because of there are so many of them, and they make such cool, upcycled, original home decor items and garments. So I'm going to just sew around here, being careful, minding my curve, and stretching the fabric as I go because it's a necktie and it stretches, just to manage the curve a little bit better. Watching over these big bumps. Okay, there we go. I hope you guys are getting inspired. I hope you're actually right now thinking, I'm going to go look in my closet for some ties. This one is 6 ties. You can do another smaller handbag with 4 ties. Then you just use this scraps on the ties as the handles. And I'm doing this a little bit faster than I probably would, just because I want to get to make the shell of it, and then we can put the base inside. There we go. And I'm leaving just a little bit at the tippy top. And let's go back over to our overhead. And as you can see how great this is going to look. See? There's your base. There's your sides. And yes, I would line that. So now let's do the other side. And while we are doing the other side, again, same thing, right sides to right sides, seam to seam, right here in the shoulder, or the shoulder, I guess so, and the very base of the bottom. We're going to put this on here. Line it up. So I'm reading the last comment there from Marla. Oh, you made doll clothes and bags out of old clothes. That's cool. Okay, back to sustainability. The neckties, they are at your thrift stores. Thrift stores get overwhelmed with neckties. A lot of them don't make it out the door. A lot of them end up in a landfill. Polyester silk takes years to break down, especially polyester. So if you can figure out a way to reuse them and love them, or they end up in the incinerator. And the other thing about silk, the resource to make a silk tie is super intensive. You got thousands and thousands of little silkworms, gallons of water just to produce one tie. I know they're lovely, but if you have a silk tie at home and someone's not wearing the tie, then either make something out of it or start wearing it. What do you think about that? And I'll tell you what, is anybody, like, let's settle this debate once and for all. I'm going to look for your comments here. Are neckties still stylish, or are they outdated? I mean, and seriously, you can't, no, clip-ons are not, they don't count. So clip-ons are not part of it. I told you at the very top of the show, I still love a very well-dressed suit and tie. I think that is still amazing. But I do believe that there are lots of reasons why people don't wear ties anymore. And in fact, I used to do this contest at a radio station, and I used to have people be in a tie contest who could tie the tie the fastest. We would win tickets to a show, to a rock show. And a lot of guys still knew how to tie ties, a lot of girls too. But I would say there was this post-pandemic style shift, people going back to work after working remotely in their sweatpants and pajamas. They're not rushing back to structured clothing. I would say the rise of athleisure wear in fashion. People don't want to wear ties. They wear sneakers and hoodies. And then I guess workplace is just a little bit more casual, right? So there's a lot of reasons to it. But if you say, okay, will ties ever come back? You know what? Fashion's cyclical. They probably will. So don't upcycle all of your ties. Let's make sure we don't get the bottom of the other piece. And I'm going to give this a whirl on the machine. And make sure I don't over. So that would be the one thing I do today. I really love this tie that I'm going over right now. The tie below it is really flimsy. So maybe do heavier tie with heavier tie, I guess, while you're planning these. What a great gift to give somebody. If you had someone in your family whose ties that you have, you can make something, give it to them for a memorial gift. Maybe someone's retired, they're not wearing ties anymore. You can make a pillow cover out of your neckties, like a kind of a crazy quilt pillow. Oh, you could quilt. Use some neckties and cut out some quilt squares. Turn them into blocks. Ha! Love that. So many ways to reuse this fabric. And you see how cool this is. And I'm going to only sew this up to here and come back to you. Again, I'm using the, I love this machine. It's the NS80E. Here we go. So look at your bag, friends. You just did it. We will put a lining in here like that. But here's the deal. Once you put your lining in this and you turn it inside out or right side out, that'll be folded in. But your shoulder strap are these two existing straps. So you can modify the length to whatever you want it to be. You want it to be shoulder, you want it to be crossbody. Look at that. How cute. Yep, there you go. Now, I know you're waiting for me to put the liner in. So let me show you quickly what that looks like. I made one ahead of time. because I kind of figured this was going to happen. But you're going to need to cut this 2 pieces. Remember I said I don't make patterns. I use this one sort of base. You're going to put the fold, cut 2 of these, and then you are going to, where's my other one? Here you go. I made this for my strap, which is the base. It's half the width of the base, which is about 5 inches. You can measure your ties before you cut this. And then I tapered it down to match the width of my shoulder strap, put it on the fold and cut 2. Easy patterns to make on your own. You're really just going to sort of lay, before you stitch this together, lay this side out, and then you'll draw your pattern. You see what I mean? So let's put this inside here. I made one already. I've got a couple going on here, actually. But I will show you this. Like, I love this fabric. It's a like olive color to put on the inside of here. Then you can see what's going on inside your bag. I've got black already cut. I'm loving this red to put on the inside of my bag. Think that's super cool. You could put pockets on the inside of your bag. You can put pockets on the outside of your purse if you want. So same deal. You have your base, you sew the 2 together. You could actually probably do this on the fold if you wanted to and have one long, do this bottom on the fold and have one long strap. And then you're going to sew the outside together. I have one here that is finished. And I have another piece to sew in that would go in right here. But you know, it's so silly. I can't find it right now. So we're going to use the one I already have done. Now, I've sewed it together. I used a serger. I used white serging thread so you could see. I was saying this could be put on the fold, and then it gets tapers as it goes up. And then you do that on both sides so you can see it fits inside the bag perfectly. The other thing that I did is I added a snap. And I did that before you were here so that it would be done. I'll show you the snap kit I used. But then once this is inside the bag, this snaps onto this. And in fact, I actually put the snap on the wrong, so it fits the wrong side. It should have been the other way because you want this to be the inside of your bag. Okay, that's okay. So I'll show you my snap kit. Do you guys have snaps? Yes? No? So I have this little 120 set snap fastener kit. And you can pick the color. It gives you the tools that you need to put a snap in. It's really super easy. But you can get a kit and put that in. I'm looking to see if you guys put snaps in. Yes. Yes. And it's just, it's super easy to do. But let me finish this bag. So I'm going to take my bag. I'm going to undo my knot here because there's a way to tie this together. I'm kind of bummed that I put that snap on the wrong side, but I'll just do this and fix it later. Turn my outer shell inside out. Turning my inner shell right side out because I want right sides to right sides. So I'm going to put this in my outer shell and make sure it fits. So it's just putting 2 bags in front of 2 bags. So you could see this here is perfect. Okay. You're going to line up the top. Now I am going to stitch from this seam to this seam and from this seam to this seam, leaving my tie straps out because you need to turn it right side out. So I'm going to line this up and we'll sew it together. More history. Ties became a business staple in the 1920s when it was like a sign of your put together. It's a put together style. People still wear ties to the office. Some people would prefer to wear backpacks and gym shoes, which is totally fine too. I just know open-toed shoes, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to put this together. Have you turned these things inside out before, friends? Let's see. Yeah. And here. So I'm trying to get these lined up as good as I can. And if I can, I'll pull this out, give myself a little more space. There we go. Did I ask you how many ties you had in your closet right now? Can you, if you have a guess, can you put that in the chat? How many ties are in your closet right now today? Okay. All right, so this is basically pinned together. Let's go sew this. I want this to be a little bit in. Let's go sew this together or turn it inside out. Then I'll show you where we're going to top stitch and how it gets finished. And I'll give you some more examples. Let's see. 0. Rita has 0 ties. Dorothy has 0 ties. Bernadette said her dad wore a tie to suit. Yes. 20 ties in your closet. Joan, are you willing to part with those ties, Joan? That's the question. Or do you guys have to, or do you have to go to the thrift store, buy ties if you're going to repurpose? Okay, here we go. This is here. This is here. I'm going to put this down. I can't believe that it's a very low number, friends, for the amount of ties that you have in your closets. I'm doing like a really long stitch here because, as you can see, my snap going by, it's in the wrong direction. That is a not thinking part of the show. So I'm going to stop here. I need this part where my strap comes out to be free because I'm going to turn it right side out. The turning it inside, right side out is probably one of the most fun parts for me because it's when it really does come together. Okay. Okay, let's see. We're getting close to the end where I stop. And we'll come back and turn this right side out, and I'll show you how to finish it off. We're here at the overhead. Now, okay, you could see I have a hole here and I have a hole here. That's because I want my straps to be free and I wanted them to be continuous. You can just make the bottom of the bag and add the straps later. But I was trying to figure out, how do I do this? Usually I leave one opening and now I'm leaving 2 openings, but here you go. There's your bag. You're going to take the inner lining and stuff it in the bag, and you can see how flimsy this is. So it definitely needs a nice liner in it. And then you can use this. You can add a zipper before you sew this all together. You can add the snap, just like I did. You could put Velcro in there. I might put Velcro in there, but I'm straightening this out. The length of the bag and the inside of the bag. And my straps, okay, are going to be pulled out from the sides. Where's my strap? Here it is. There you go. So, you guys, look how cute this is. Once you get the corners fitted, the other thing I like to do is in the seam, sometimes I do a little stitch right here, and I'll do a little stitch over here to keep the inside of the bag from coming out. Now, if you wanted to wash the inside of the bag, you want to leave it loose, you can pull the inside of the bag out because it's just cotton and you can make something from it. So here is your bag. I told you we'd get rid of these and resew them. We will. But now you're going to want to press the top of this bag, and then you're going to top stitch all the way around, making sure that this part that's out where your handles are goes inside the strap. So that's where I'm going to press, and that is where I am going to top stitch. And then you can sew this in here. You can top stitch here. Just do a nice little top stitch right around the top. And time goes fast, friends. This is crazy. Let's see where we're at. Ooh, it's almost time to go. What do you think? Do you want me to do the top stitch, or should I just show you one that's finished? Yeah. Maybe I'll just pin it and you can see how it would look top stitch. That's a great idea. Thank you for that. Thanks for that, Betsy. There we go. And I'm going to press this in. And then that way there's no holes. Your bag is sewn together. Now, the other thing you can do after you're done top stitching all the way around, you've got your bag. I would have pressed this first if I wasn't tight on time. Then top stitch. You could do a different thread. You can make it a little bit longer. There you go. Yeah, so my zipper or my button or snap is backwards. The last thing that I would have you do is then sew your straps down because they were just a little bit more wide than what you need, but you needed to leave that space. So I would do that after the top stitch. See how this one's a little bit wider? Going to put it back in its place. And if you wanted to put the little label right back on there, you can. How cute is that? Let me just pin that guy in and I will finish that bag. I'm going to leave the pins in. I'm going to come back over and see you because we've got more show and tell to come. But this is your bag after it's top stitched. You can make a little knot. I mean, I'm so excited about that. Let me just go here. Look. So we top stitch. You can put the bag right over your shoulder. It's so cute. You can make a smaller bag if you want. I know. All we got to do is top stitch it. And I'll do that on my own because you know how to top stitch. Meet me over at the main camera because I want to show you some other ideas what you can do with neckties before I say goodbye. Hold on 1 second. I will be right over. Okay, so here we are, bag in hand. That's so cute. I will finish the top stitching. You can see here is a modified version of that. I only used like 3 ties, and then I did a normal little bag, and then I just did these, and I used the ends as decoration for the side of the bag. But this is a cute shoulder bag. This is a similar to what we just made. There you go. And you can see where those 6 ties go. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I know. And you guys did it and you're going to do it. I do want to show you something. I'm going to show you some other ideas if you're cool with that. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see, share screen. I'm going to do, let's see, tab, window. Oh, here we go. Some other ideas. Okay, let me know if you can see these. There is me and all my neckties, friends. Yeah, it's true. I told you I had tons of neckties. That is a skirt. That is a wraparound tie skirt. Zips up and down. The zippers work. And then the closure is on the side with the zipper. There she is. Very simple with a black turtleneck, but yet it looks super cool with those ties and those colors. That is a bubble shirt made with neckties over just a little strapless, I'd say a halter top, or like a strapless shirt. And then we put the ties on. Those are not deconstructed. Those are just pinned on top and bottom. It's a halter top that I'm wearing right now. There is a jean tie skirt. So you can see, put the ties on the bottom of a deconstructed pair of denim pants that literally I cut the legs off. That is the scraps put together to put on dining room chairs. That is, I just love this so much. And then you can replace those, but all of those extra scraps I talked about can be used to line together and put on your dining room chairs. We talked about footstools and ottomans. So there is a great way to do a tuffet. A tuffet is also a footstool. They make kits. You can use that. There it is again. You can see the pillows in the background. But that's also very fun. Use your scraps for that. Oh, yeah. So there you go. There are your pillows using scraps, using just the points all together but that's so fun. And there's a table runner. I did that for Christmas. So if you have extra stains on your ties, then you just put them on your table runner. And there's the bag that we just made, final and close up for you to see. There it is again. And there it is again on my back. And there's a small one I just showed you. That is a wedding gown made from white neckties. And my friend Laura Hubka made the hat for me, but I made 2 wedding gowns out of neckties. And there's my friend Erin just having a great time jumping because she is so excited. She is wearing neckties. You know what else I can do with my neckties? Save your scraps. Make an eyeglass case. That's cute. We're going to throw that. That's so easy. I think I did that on a morning show. But these, again, if you're using the long part, you can create an eyeglass case, scraps, sew 2 ends together, and make a belt. Wrap that around, have a little tassel at the end. I'm going to show you a few more things really quick. This is another really fun tie skirt that is short. And again, the colors for me, you know, it really pops, and putting all those colors together for me is super fun. This is a skirt that I call the mullet. I'm just giving you guys ideas. This is a straight skirt. So I made a straight skirt. It's serious in the front and it's a party in the back because I put 4 ties just on the other side of this little pleat in the back of my skirt. But this, and look at how fun that little mermaid is. So it's like a series in the front, party in the back, just like a mullet. Here's a close-up of that tie skirt with all the different ties. If you're going to wear this, maybe wear some Spankies or something underneath, tights. That's what I would do. I wouldn't wear it to school. Here's that zipper tie skirt again. That is super fun. These are not deconstructed, so this is really heavy. This is, I made a halter top out of white for a wedding gown. That's cute. All white ties. And then my favorite, I like to call it the butt cape. So this is like a belt, see? And then it just kind of goes over the back of your outfit, kind of like a peacock, a little cape for your outfit. Wow, that was so much. It is a party in the back, Linda. It is a party all the time right here on Creative Living and, of course, on SMP. I'm going to ask you one last question. If your neckties had a superpower, what would it be? Would it be instant business advice? Would it be you hypnotize? It can hypnotize the barista for free coffee. Perhaps because it's a necktie, it is a pro at dad jokes. And for me, what I would say, my necktie superpower is self-cleaning gravy stains. That's what I would say. Okay, guys. I'm so happy you were here. I would say millions, possibly tens of millions of ties are out there ready and waiting for you to turn them into something amazing and creative. And Linda, I love your superpower. It would tighten on me to tell me to watch my tongue. Dad jokes. Business. Everything is all business. Your ties would cure animal cruelty if they had a super. Very good. Elevated. Awesome. Bernadette, you're super creative. Make you more creative. Bernadette, you are creative. Thank you so much. Entertaining the kids. Good. So again, millions, possibly tens of millions of ties are out there waiting for you to upcycle them into home decor, into fashion. I think you can incorporate them into your quilting. I also think that you could take this bag, throw this on your sketch right here and put a little sunshine on it and put an embroidery design on the outside of your bags or any of the things that you do. Again, all of those great textures, all of those great colors. Neckties are fun to use all the time. If you take one from the person in your life that still loves it, you can always buy them a new one or find them a new one. Again, for more inspiration, janeclaus.com is where you'll find me, of course, on social media. I'm Jane Manzuris Klaus. I had to keep my maiden name in there as well. And I want to tell you really quick the items that I used today on the show. And we'll start with that sew tights. Oh, no. Okay, we'll go to the sew tights. Whatever you want, Andrew. Just put it up there. I'll talk about it. There you go. You've got your So Tights magnetic cutting system. You can see our live pricing there, but again, it's Blaine. So call in special 800-401-8151. I love my So Tights So magnetic cutting system. These girls that invented it have come up with so many great accessories to use that help you cut easier and smoother. Again, 800-401-8151 to get your hands on that So Tight cutting system. Call in special. So the pricing $374.99. Wink, wink. Call Blaine. Call in 800-401-8151. And of course, the sewing machine we used was there you go. It's the NS80E. That is from Brother. Our friend said Brother. And again, you've got your call in special on that as well. The price on the show today is $599.99. I love that machine. It's got so many different feet to use. It's got so many different stitches. I love it. Just hums away and it's so perfect and it's super light to carry with me wherever I go. And also I said you could use a serger if you wanted to zip it up in your serger. And we've got the Brother Airflow 3000 serger that I love. I had it off to the side, ready to dive into it. If I had another 45 minutes, I would have used my serger and I would have finished that entire thing for you. Maybe made a second one too. So that's it. 800-401-8151. All of these are call-in specials from our friend Blaine and the crew at Sewing Machines Plus. So SMP Live. That is what we're doing today. Again, I am JaneClous.com. You can find me there. Sign up for my e-blast. I would love to have you as part of my crew. And also rewatch our show here on YouTube. And I would love it if you make a tie anything, even if you tie a tie, I don't care. Even if it's a bow tie clip-on, that would be awesome. Send me a picture of your upcycled project at Jane Manzuris Klaus. That is my Instagram, Jane Manzuris Klaus. And of course, like, subscribe, download my podcast, Creative Living. And yes, somebody said I didn't know you had a podcast, but I do. Go there. Some really great, interesting people that you should know. I appreciate you as I always do when you're here joining me. I love the banter back and forth. I think you're wonderful and I wish you a wonderful day. I will see you in a month. Next week, you will have the lovely Becky Thompson. And until then, I will be back with another sustainable project in about 4 weeks from now, everybody. I hope to hear from you sooner than that, though. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Bye.